Well, hey there, and welcome to class. Today, we're going to talk about how to become a coach. You are in the right place if you feel called to coach, but you're not sure what kind of coach you should actually be, and you don't even know what to call yourself. Maybe your Google history looks something like this: how to find clients, how to start a coaching business, how to become a coach, should I become a coach, and on a daily basis. You frequently wonder if your dream of starting a coaching business will even work, and you're terrified at failing at this. You've told some people and you can't go back, right? You're like, okay, now what do I do? So, I'm going to help you learn how to get really clear with your messaging so you can start attracting the right people to your business. Why would we need to get clear with our messaging? Because people will listen then. Sometimes we feel like we need to absorb ourselves into the crowd of all of the other coaches and we want to sound like everybody else. And you might not realize that that is doing you a huge disservice because no one can hear you, no one can see you, and no one can understand that you know where they are right now. So we're going to get really clear with that so people will actually pay attention to you. You're going to discover how to find clients that cannot wait to work with you. Like they're either saving up to work with you, they're following your every word, they're in line, they're in the internet line. Set your income goals. We're going to do some math so you can confidently take action in your business. I feel really empowered when I know some numbers. I feel really empowered when I can see things broken down, and that's what we're going to do. I want you to say goodbye to some things. I want you to say goodbye to having zero clue what to call yourself online, changing your Instagram bio twice a day, spending all of your time on Google and attending webinars like it's your full-time job, and then sitting on the sidelines wondering how and when this will happen for you. You decided to become a coach, but you're tired of watching everyone else do it, and you're ready to get up and you're ready to move. Say hello to knowing exactly what kind of coach you should be. Like you're going to feel like everything just lined up perfectly and connected, and like the power is on, you're ready. Being 100% confident in what you do and who you serve, having a clear plan on how to book clients consistently, setting money goals that will keep your business running smoothly and successfully. These sound pretty great. Okay. So when I first started my business, I had no clue what to call myself. I had a lot of irons in the fire. I was doing all the things. I was the freebie queen, and I thought I could cheat the system and learn this all for free. So what I was doing many years ago when I went into business coaching, I decided that, okay, I know I'm supposed to be a business coach, so I'm going to set this on the back burner. And then I'm going to distract myself with freelancing, I designed book covers, I designed cookbooks for people, I designed websites. I did all of these things. I had Etsy shops. I did so many things to distract me from the real thing. I couldn't even look at it. It was too bright for me. I wanted to avoid it because I knew that if I went all in on this, there was no turning back. And I didn't even know what I was doing. I didn't even know there was a thing called a business coach. But I decided I'm going to help people start their coaching businesses. What the heck? So this was something that I distracted myself from. I had an online magazine, I was writing, I was running websites, I was doing so much. And on my spare time while raising 3 kids, I also decided I don't need to pay for anything to show me how to do this. Going into stubborn Lindsay mode, I don't need to pay anybody. I can just download a ton of freebies off of Pinterest and I can run my business that way. And I like to call that the Frankenstein business. Your website is built on theories from this person. Your landing pages are built on theories from this person. Your program is built on theories from that person. And pretty soon, you have all these things that you grew and created, and nothing connects or feels aligned with what you really wanted. So basically, my DIY Frankenstein coaching business was not living its best life. So I had to say goodbye to DIY and hello to a legit coaching business. I had to say enough, just enough. If I wasn't willing to invest in myself, how could I possibly expect others to? That was such a big light bulb moment. And now for me to hear that, it feels like, well, yeah, that's just common sense. But I remember when I first heard that and it kind of hurt. It was like, well, hey, Who are you to tell me that I'm supposed to invest in my business? And here's the thing, I do not believe at all that if you invest in something, then people will invest in you. That's not what I believe, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you decide to invest in something, whether it's a program or coaching with somebody one-on-one, your attitude changes, your perspective changes. You just turn into something different, and you might not even see it yourself. I know that when I invest in myself, I show up differently. I show up bigger. I show up more confident because I just made another move forward in my business, and I feel good that I made that jump. And people will even reach out to me, and I'll have clients who will reach out to me and say, Lindsay, there's just something different about you. Like, what are you doing? And I think, oh yeah, that's why. That's why, because I invested in myself. I feel better about where I'm going because I have a new fresh guide or an old friend guide who's helping me move through the stages that I haven't been through yet. That's what coaching is all about. So when that happened, and when this continues to happen as you invest in your business, things will start to change. So when I first started investing in myself, when I got my first coach, my first high ticket coach, my calendar started to fill up with client calls. I consistently replaced my and my husband's income every month. And I stopped worrying about how this would work, and I stepped into the CEO role confidently. So you read that right. I still work a full-time job. My husband works full-time. We enjoy our lifestyle, and my coaching business supports that. I am not an anomaly, though. My clients and students are doing amazing things too. I have clients and students from all over the world who I work with, female coaches who are health coaches, business coaches, career coaches, parenting coaches, hormone coaches, all kinds of coaches all over. And they are all doing fantastic, amazing, and big things. So if you feel like, okay, I can relate to Christina, I can relate to Rebecca just by seeing them, then that means that we have something here. We have women from all over the place, right? You connect with these women because you know how they felt. They know how you feel when you first started. Just ask any of them. They remember the butterflies in their tummies, that, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm actually doing this. I can't believe I'm actually changing my Instagram bio to what my business does and how I help people. I can't believe I'm doing that. I can't believe that my website is live. All of these women here can relate to that because they all made those moves too. So let's go back to that. Let's go back to the getting clear with our messaging. There are some mistakes that you might be making, and let's get that clear right now. Are you trying to help everyone do everything? Okay, so you might be falling into a category where you might be saying, I help women start their online coach. I help women start their online business. That's what I did when I first started. I didn't want to own the fact that I could help women set up their coaching businesses. I kept that hiding because I was scared to actually own that. So I was saying I can help women start online businesses, which is way too broad. And it didn't help me. I did book a client under that statement, and she was not aligned with where I really wanted to work with. Not knowing if there is a market out there for your services and staying stuck. So going back to that first point of me saying my first client was not aligned with where I wanted to go, that's something that I want you to avoid. And maybe you've been there too. Your I help statement is so very broad. It could bring in clients, but I highly doubt that they're aligned with where you want to be in 3 to 5 years. I highly doubt they're aligned with how you want to spend your time on a Zoom call every week or every month. So you really need to think about that. Is your I help statement actually going to make you happy when you hit go on a Zoom call? That's something that no one talks about, and you need to think about that. We don't want to work with everybody because we can't work with everybody. That's not possible. So we're not Walmart. We're going to have to specialize in who we're helping, and we're going to have to own that department. Okay. All right. Not knowing if there is a market out there for your services and staying stuck. So that is that is something that is always like, well, I don't really want to go see if people will actually buy this. I don't want to go see if there's coaches like me because I want you to have your blinders on, right? But we do have to know, are there people out there looking for this? I mean, there can be some pretty crazy niches, and I'm 99.9% sure that what your niche is or destined to be is not going to fall under this category, but I did feel like it had to be in here because there are coaches out there who are struggling because their niche, I think it's too broad. So there isn't a market out there for it. Okay. So those two kind of work together. Or not recognizing your own journey and trying to be someone else, which is, everyone wants to piggyback somebody else, especially when they're just starting, because they feel like if it works for Lindsay, then it's got to work for me. And I don't want another Lindsay online. And I don't want you to be another Lindsay because you're not me and I'm not you. So I want you to be yourself. I don't want you to disregard the history that you've had, the journey that you've gone through because you're not confident in it. One of the biggest components in being a successful coach is being confident in yourself and having the confidence to share your story, because your story is what brings people in your world. It's the door that opens up opportunities for sales, clients, engagement, all of those things. Your story is the key. So let's dig into that I help statement. I've broken it down with some highlighted markers here. I help, let's keep it simple in their language. Okay. So I help women set up their coaching business so they can book their dream clients. So in the white, who do I help? Who do you help? I'm going to say women. I help women. I want to work with women. That's who I bring in. I do have some gentlemen on my list and in my Facebook group, and that's amazing. But I want to work with women primarily. Okay. So I help women. What do you help them do? Set up their coaching business. Super simple. So I'm not using something that is Lindsay language because they're not there yet. So if you're using something that is something like cutesy, glittery words that sound really punchy in an Instagram profile, that's fine, but it's not going to connect with anyone, as many, if that, because you're not using their language. It's going to go right over their head. We do not want to go over people's head. If you read any books on copywriting or marketing language, all of that stuff, we have to keep things simple and in their language. You have to wipe your thoughts of what this should say and go back to that point. Go back in your Google history in your mind of what you were Googling when you were where they are now, and use that, how to set up their coaching business. That's why I said in the beginning, is this what your Google history looks like? Because I remember that. I remember those days, and I can relate to you because I've been where you are. Set up the coaching business, that rings because it's super simple. And that's basically what you're trying to do. Okay. So they can do what? What do your dream client, what do they want more than anything? They want to book their dream clients. Okay. So 3 components. Who do you help? What do you help them do? So they can do what? What do they want? In their words, in their words, in their words. So many times I review copy for students or clients or Instagram profiles, all of those. And the biggest thing that people miss is going over the head of the person they want to connect with. And this takes practice, and it keeps you're going to continue to refine this, but why not get started on the right foot now, right? Number 2, map out your client acquisition process. Like, how official does this sound? So here's what you're going to need. How are you going to get clients? And I always say, I compare it to this. You are waiting for a guest to come to your housewarming party. And right now, you might think you're all ready to go. You're in your party dress, but here's the thing. You're standing on a blank lot of grass. You haven't set up the foundation of your business. You haven't decorated your home. Like, there's no brand, there's no story. And it's not comfortable yet. No one's going to come. So you're waiting for people to come to your housewarming party, and you don't even have your house yet. So we have to set that up. Hence the client acquisition process. So here's what you need. You need a work with me sales page. Don't just put a paragraph on your website. That works for people who have been doing this for a long time and who have like this reputable brand online where they don't even need to say anything and people will just work with them. And that's years down the road. Years. I don't even do that. And I've been doing this for 10 years. Okay. I don't feel comfortable in doing that. This is how I feel about sales pages and going, going all out with the stuff. That's the kind of investor, that's the kind of buyer that I am. So when I want to buy something, I want to look at the sales page. I want to look at the bells and whistles in a program. I want to look at how I'm going to be working with somebody privately. I want to read, I want to sit down, I want to soak it in so I can make my decision. That's how I built my business. And it works for me. I teach this method because I believe that if you don't know and you haven't invested in yourself with a program or a coach before, why not just try and go all out with it then? And then see what you like and pull from that and get rid of the things that you don't. Because it's your business. And one of the things that I've learned over the years is there's no right way to do this. There's no like, oh, here are the 5 things you're missing. Number 2, that's why your business isn't working. That's not how it is. The most frustrating part of this, the most frustrating advice that I'm going to give you is there's no right way to do this. You have to do it the way you want to do it. And you're like, I don't want to do that. I just want to do it in a certain way and figure it out the way you did it. Good. Because if you do it the way that I did, you might like it 100%. And then if you like it 100%, it'll work for you. If you do what I do 100% and you only like 70%, then change it. Then take out the 30% that you didn't like and make it your own. That's the beauty of this. But you never know until you do the 100%, because you try, then you move, then you took action. Okay. So I'm going to give you, if you're going to go all out, here's what you're going to do. You're going to get your sales page. You're going to create 3 different coaching packages for people to work with you, for people to choose. I want the plan A, or I want the plan C, or whatever it is. They're going to pick from your coaching packages. I don't believe that, I don't like the one package coaching stuff, because I saw my conversion rates go up dramatically when I increased to 2, and then much more when I increased to 3. My theory behind that is when potential clients stumble upon my work with me page, they see the 3 packages and they're like, ooh, which one should I pick? If I just have one, my belief is they go from yes or no, and then they're gone. So I like to give an option of 3. A client application. I've used a client application for many, many years because it helped me get on a call with somebody that I felt aligned with. If you skip the client application, your tendency is going to be just give them a link to my calendar. And I don't know if you want to do that. Throughout the years, I went on lots of Zoom calls with people who had 0 interest in investing in me, and they just wanted to pick my brain and kick the tires. If you want to avoid that, and if you have time to do that, then by all means, go ahead and give people your calendar link. I didn't feel good about that process. I would be angry after I would be on a call with somebody and I knew in my heart that they were not going to invest, and they just kept asking me question after question. And I was too scared to grab the wheel and say, no, we're not going here anymore. And then I would lose an hour with my family. Like, I remember one situation very distinctly. I remember it was like an evening that I normally never took calls, and somebody wanted to go on a discovery call with me. And I didn't have like the most confident feeling about it, but I thought, okay, I'll squeeze her in, even though I don't go on discovery calls in the evening because that's family time. And I did. And I remember being in my office, pacing back and forth, because this was like when we still did audio Zoom discovery calls. I remember pacing back and forth and her just asking me questions like I was on a podcast interview, and she was just getting all of this information. And it's not her fault, it's my fault, because I kept giving it to her because I like, well, maybe she does want to work with me. I don't know. I'll just keep giving answers. Like just going into this call with like lack mentality. I think it was like 45 minutes or an hour. And she's like, okay, well, thank you. Bye. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember coming out of my office, and my husband was laying on the floor with my daughter, who was a baby at the time, and she was just sitting there playing. And I was like, I missed this time. That's not fair. And then I get so defensive with my time. And I was like, I'm not doing that anymore, because I could have been with my kids for another hour today. I could have been with my husband for another hour. And instead, I was just like talking to somebody who had no respect for my time and just wanted answers without anything. So that made me change my process. And I learn things and I teach them. And that's why I'm going with, let's make sure people apply before they get your calendar link. Okay. Discovery call process. So when, let's say somebody gets your application and you review it and you want to go on a discovery call with them, what's the next thing that you're going to do? Are you going to send them the Zoom link? Are you going to send them an Instagram message? Like, what does your process look like? Don't wait until you get a client to write down a process. Write down your ideal process. Like, this is how I would want it to look like if I was the boss and you are, and mimic it when the client comes. Okay. Mimic it when the potential client comes, because then you'll have something to look off of. And a client onboarding process. When that client signs up to work with you, what's the next step? Are you going to have them sign a contract? Are you going to have them book their call, set up their payment plan? What does that process look like for you ideally? Okay. What does it look like? How do you want it to be? What is the easiest way you can get them from looking at your sales page to going on their first call with you? Now, here's the thing. I want to go back to this. I never knew what it was like to work with a coach. I didn't know how to do a discovery call process. I didn't know how to do a client onboarding process, because I never worked with anyone long term. Like I would join these programs that were 30 days and like these quick hit things. But when I decided to sign on with a coach, that's when I was like, that's how you do it. That's how you do that. That's how she does that. I love that. I'm going to use that in my business. I don't really care for that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it this way. You don't know what to do until you see a coach do it. Until you work with a coach, that's when you know, oh, that's how they do it. Right? There are some things that you're wondering, like, how does she do that? How does she onboard her clients? Does she use Dubsado? Does she use some special program? How does she do it? You have to work with a coach to find out. And then you see if you like it and you use it in your business. That's what coaching is. It's like, I learn, I teach, you learn, you teach. And we just keep passing it along, passing it on down the line. Okay. So the money goals. I love math. I'm trying to convince my kids, you should really love math. I'm a homeschool mom. So I'm like, math is so fun because it doesn't change. It's like, this is what it is. And you can just figure things out differently. And I love watching like light bulb moments happen in their minds as they do math. Like, no, I'm going to figure it out this way. And that's why I love homeschooling, because they can figure it out their own way. But I digress. Doing the math is making things real, and it's empowering. So I'm going to show you just a couple of scenarios that was going to make you feel like, oh, I can do this. Because when I can give you that feeling, I can show you that. I can't give it to you. You have to feel it yourself. But when I can like initiate that feeling for you, you're going to change after watching this. Like the way you look at your business, you're going to change. The way you feel about your business is going to change. The programs that you want to do are going to change. Like everything's going to change when you see the light, when you see how easy this actually can be. Okay. So let's go with a yearly goal of $50,000. So if you have a $50,000 yearly goal, that feels big, right? Okay, you have to make $50,000 this year. Okay, it's January 1st, clock is ticking. Okay, like that feels really overwhelming and heavy. But what if I said, we're dividing this up into quarters. So you just have to make 12,500 per quarter. Oh, I can do that. You could even divide it. You could say 12,000, I'm using my calculator right now, 12,500. My hands are cold, so my calculator is not typing right. Okay, 12,500 divided by 3. Oh, just like $4,000 a month. I can do that, right? 4,100. Sure. Okay. Sounds a lot easier than saying 50,000. But the reason that I said quarters is because what if you made $5,000 in January, $6,000 in February? You would only have to make, a couple thousand in March. You can do that. It allows you to be a little bit more flexible with what you're doing. It allows you to not pressure yourself month to month because you can say, well, I still have a couple of months left before I hit my quarterly goal. But I had somebody ask me today, what was the biggest month you've had in your business? And I'm like, I have no idea. I don't even look at that anymore. Like I manage my money every day, but I don't pay attention to that stuff anymore. I used to be like, I made, $10,545.22 this month. And then now I think this whole year, like I have no idea. Because I don't look at it month to month anymore. I don't even look at it quarter to quarter, year to year, except when tax season comes. I just don't look at that because I'm going. I don't have time to look back because I can't redo the process anyway. I can't say, well, if I made $12,500 in quarter 3, I have to do exactly the same thing for quarter 4. Well, even if I did exactly the same stuff I did in my highest month, like everything, if I did the exact same stuff, it wouldn't work that way. That's not how this works. We're in a weird world, you guys. The coaching business world is strange. We cannot rinse and repeat stuff and expect the same thing to happen. I've tried many times. And even if you wore the same outfit, even if you ate the same breakfast and you did the same stuff every day as you did that 1 month when it was really good, it's not going to turn out that way. It's just not. But doing the math feels empowering because you don't feel like the 50,000 is glaring at you. I can deal with the 12,500. Okay. But then let it go because it's just some numbers on a screen. And whether you made $12,300 that quarter or $15,000 that quarter, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean, oh, you hit 12,500 exactly, which you're not going to anyway, because that never happens. It doesn't mean like, okay, then now you're worth it. If you hit 11,000 or $12,499, would you be disappointed? I hope not. So don't wrap any value of yourself within the numbers. Okay. This is just play things. Like we're just playing with these numbers. We're just going to see what we can do. How can we like make our business like move and do things for us? How can we feel empowered to show up every day? These things help. Okay. Scenario 1, let's say you booked one client. Remember, we have 3 packages. So we have different package opportunities in this scenario. We have one client who came in at the $2,000 package. And then we have 2 clients who came in with a $3,000 package. And then another client came in with a $4,500 package. And boom, you hit your quarterly goal with just 4 clients. I've been booked out with at least 4 clients every month for many, many years. I remember just saying, years ago, like 4 clients sound really good to me. Like that's something that I can do. And I've always had 4. Sometimes I've had 10. Sometimes I've had 12, sometimes I've had 5, but I always have 4, always. Okay. Another scenario would be a client comes in with a $3,000 and then another one comes in with a 45, but then you launched your group program, you launched it, during the weekend, and you had 5 students sign up with their $1,000. You see, there's no like, if you do this, then this will happen. That's not how this works. And you could do the same thing you did here the next month. Still wouldn't work out the way it does here. That's just, again, not how it works. But seeing possibilities makes you want to move, makes you want to try, makes you feel confident in, oh, I have no idea how this is going to turn out, but I'm just going to do it. Just do it. Well, we're never going to know how. You have to do it. Okay. So you might be thinking, okay, lots of things to think about here. What do I do? What do I do next? You either need to think about where your business is headed and are you supported? Are you supported along the way? Are you supported in a program? Are you supported with a one-on-one coach? Do you just need to kind of get your stuff together first? There's a few ways that you can work with me. I'm going to name those right now. One is Ready for Clients. That is a $27 program. You can go grab it right now and get all of your stuff together and get ready for clients. You can go to readyforclients.com and grab that. If you want to be a part of a membership for coaches and get monthly masterclasses and a boatload of trainings all ready for you to dive into, then join the Confident Coach Club, confidentcoachclub.com. If you want a program that is structured and will keep you on track so you can start and scale your coaching business, then join Stano Coaching Academy. That's my next bet for you. But if you're like, I need a one-on-one coach because I know that this is what I'm supposed to do and I believe in the coaching industry, so I need a coach. If you want to work with me, just go to lindsaymaloney.com, click on work with me. I have 3 different packages for you to choose from. You can invest right there. Or if you want to chat about it, you can send me an Instagram DM or you can set up a call with me. Easy peasy. Okay. Thank you for watching this class. If you have any questions, again, send me an Instagram DM or email me. And I'm so happy to spend this time with you. Thank you so much.